Well, my real name is Emmeline L. Addison, but I have been going by Trudi since I was, my mother told me, I think 9 months. I live here at Homecrest. In fact, it was 3 years, March 15th. Well, I'm originally from New York, and my daughter lives here, and her friend's mother said she knew I was going to move down here. You should check out Homecrest House. And she was telling me about it, and I came by for the interview. And I'll be honest with you, I fell in love with it when I drove through the gates. And it's a peace and a contentment that I feel. And I wasn't expecting it. Coming from a big, big, big city to tiny Silver Spring, I thought I would be bored, etc. But I find the people exciting, funny. And the greatest thing I like about it is, though, even though we're different in many ways, there are so many other things we're alike. There's certain holidays, events that take place in one group, but we do the same thing at another time. And it's like just fun learning from other people. Oh, definitely. That makes it very interesting. And I often say that the founders of this organization, I think would be pretty, or if they weren't, they should have been, and or if they're still alive, I'm not sure, very proud, because here I find it's like a little UN. We have our arguments, and we'll make up afterwards. I mean, it's just, isn't it life? Really. And as I said, I enjoy being here, and I find the people exciting. And this is from the top to the bottom, from Joe Podson, the executive director, to maintenance. I don't know where they got the people from, but they're great. If they don't, it's hard to understand that they don't get something out of it. And I've never even thought of it that way before, to be honest with you. For some reason, feel everybody has the same feel. Although I shouldn't, because everyone is not going to have the same feelings. There's always going to be someone who's griping all the time. But I think there's a peace and contentment here. I don't go out on a limb and say I think they do. Oh, definitely. I hope they don't ever plan to stop, because we need this. We need a beautiful place where you don't have to worry that I can't go outside because somebody's going to hit me on the head or something. I can't buy that can of pineapple because I don't have the money for it. All my money has gone into my rent. And when you get to 65, 75, you don't want to really have to be, oh my God, I have nothing to eat. How am I going to pay my rent? It's hard no matter what age. But at 65 and up, I think it's even harder. And to have a place like Homecrest House is so beautiful, and yet the majority of people can afford to live here without feeling, oh, I won't eat for a couple of weeks until my Social Security check comes in. I think they have to keep putting places like this up. I really do. It's my honest opinion. I think it is, because we're not in this, it's okay, it's B'nai B'rith, but it's B'nai B'rith within an orb of so many people, so many religions. We have Catholic, Jews, of course Jews, Catholic, Pentecostal, Islam people here. I know people hear that and they say, what are you talking about? There's no problem here with that. If there is, I have not heard of it. And I'm a pretty big yenta. I hear what's going on. And I haven't heard of any friction over the different religions. Here, Passover and Easter, the same week. And they had a Seder dinner. And unfortunately, I didn't make it this year because I was out of town. And then Easter Sunday and Good Friday. It was no problem. It's no problem. You know, I don't know. If they don't have children, they can't live with them. I guess public housing, and I don't even know if it's that. If there any, are there any senior housings in this area? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think they would probably be in trouble. I think so. And as I said, I came from New York. In New York, as far as I know, they have lovely places. Here, you're spending $3,000–4,000 a month. Most people don't have that to spend just on rent and food alone. I mean, that's a small percentage of people. Here, you're able to afford it and still not feel that you're on welfare. I think that's the best way. Our first one was 3 years ago, and we had a luncheon, which was a smash. I mean, we were worried about it. It was SRO. And we had people talking about Black history. People came away, they were fascinated. Since that time, I have said, heck with the luncheons. I said, people need to know the history, the true history. The average American does not know the full history, African-American history. I don't even know all of it. And so the second year, we had speakers come in and talk about the events. And then last year, we did an event where I spoke about the Underground Railroad, and other people were talking, and people were fascinated. And I never realized, and I taught at school, I didn't realize that a good part of the Underground Railroad was here in Maryland. And I learned something. And this year, we did more or less the same thing. And I think I would like us to continue doing that because we can find out about each other's cultures. I feel truly that the big part of Black history is learning about the beginning. I feel you have to know where you come from in order to know where you're going. And I feel as a result of these programs here, which they push, I have to say, they will say, look, you tell them what you're going to do, fine. Yes, yes, because with the Black History program, we went to Joe. He said, it's a fabulous idea. And okay, what do we do? And we moved from there, and we really did. In fact, he even said, you guys did everything, really. But, you know, you get hit with an idea, and you go for it. And I enjoy when people come up to me and say, oh, my God, I learned so much. I had no idea. And this helps to do away with a lot of misunderstandings. The main thing about that was children usually don't feel that comfortable around seniors. And I was amazed that these young fellas, it didn't seem to be a problem. Well, maybe at my table anyway. He was open, we joked, and it wasn't, they're, they're older than I am. I can't do this, and now I'm not going to say anything. No, they were very relaxed. And I guess maybe they're accustomed to having seniors around. But that was a wonderful learning experience, seeing children not being afraid to talk to you or to say what they feel without you saying, don't do that, you know? They were very comfortable.
Residents.
Well, when we had programs like leadership training, we talked about interacting amongst different groups and some of the ways to help get your ideas across. And there were so many programs. I'm trying to remember them all. I brought them here, but the leadership training was the one that I grabbed onto the most. And it showed you how you can do things working within the establishment and getting ideas across, and how you can also help Homecrest expand in different areas. And like I said, we have that, the Black History Month. Then there's a closet in the promenade. It's like, I always think of it as my mother's old china closet, only this is much larger. And anyone that has mementos, hobbies, etc., they bring it in and they put it there inside this locked cabinet. And then they'll have a tea and they'll talk about the contents. Now this comes from finding out about the group, who you're working with, and then putting a program into place. And what I got out of the leadership training was that you don't really know how good you are until you've tried to do something. And then you really surprise yourself that you can do it. And with them, with the steps that they've gone through, that we went through, that's what fascinated me. And in fact, in my letter, I state how, as a result of the leadership training there, I came back with a different view of Homecrest. As I said, I always admired it. But you know, you take things for granted. You know, oh yeah, this is here. You don't really think, well, why is it there? How did it get there? What does it take to keep it running? And I'm sorry, I think that the staff, B'nai B'rith, they have done a fabulous job in getting these ideas and putting them into operation. And what they also do is they have programs where it helps you to recognize some of your pluses that you never, you know, we all have a tendency to be, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not able to. I don't say that anymore. And it took me a long time to realize it, and my daughter even mentioned, she says, you know, Mom, you've opened up since you've been here. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, I don't know. She says, you're not afraid to take a chance on something. So I said, well, I'm not going to do anything that I'm going to kill myself. She said, no, but you'll take a chance on doing things. And she brought up going to camp, and when I came back, she said, it's something about it. I don't know what it is, so I can't explain it to you. But I think it touched off something in me that was there. I guess I just kept it buried. I don't know, it was something that touched off something in me, like, yes, I can. I can't explain it to you any more than that. I'll try, maybe one day I'll write a book on it or a memoir, what happened when I came here. But for me, it's been a wonderful experience. And, that's the other thing. There's always something to do. There's always something to get involved with. There are places to go. Like today, there was a trip to the cherry blossoms, but they canceled it because they're trying so hard to blossom, but they said, no, let's do it when they come out. So the first time I was here, I went there. And then I've always gone to the Smithsonian when I came down, but I never really did it as in depth as when we took a trip there. But you see, these are all things that I'm saying. People have the idea that once you pass 65, you don't learn anything and it's all over. I disagree with that. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. And the brain keeps functioning, and I know there are people who would disagree with me, and yes, there are people who are still not with it. But the brain is still going in the majority of people here. And for you to sit down and not do something, they don't realize you're hurting yourself. And B'nai B'rith Homecrest, they realize that. So there's always something to do. There's always something to keep the brain going. And I think that's one of the things that has helped me find myself, find what I'm capable of doing. I haven't hit everything yet. And don't worry, I'm not going to go skateboarding or something like that, but I'm not as afraid as I was when I was younger. Oh, definitely. I hope they never think of doing away with a program like this. You have to be a senior to really appreciate what I'm saying. But as I said, you get to this age and you can't go anywhere because you're strapped. Just think of that. You have some people, say 400, I'm just using a figure. Your rent is 300. You've got 100 to live on. You can knock out $100 worth of groceries in 10 minutes. And here, it doesn't cure everything. I'm not saying that. And I don't want you to think that I'm Pollyanna and I don't see the other side. Yes, I know there's poverty all over. But at least you don't have a lot of money, but you can still feel proud of yourself. You can still do things. They have programs here that keep you going, and you're meeting people from outside, and they're bringing people in here. That's the other part where I said they keep it going. There are concerts here that I know when I lived in New York, my husband and I had yearly season tickets to the Philharmonic at Lincoln Center. We'd done it for like 5, 6 years. And then about 95, 96, prices went up and up and up. I said, we were doing very well, but it became almost impossible. We saw a performance last week, and someone said to me, if they were at Kennedy Center, I couldn't afford to go there. But yet, Homecrest has made it possible through, I know, the grant from Trawick, for us to stay in touch with what's going on outside and having top-rated entertainment. These are the things. They have sessions where an instructor from the University of Maryland, they come in and you take a college course. You see, these are things that if you weren't here, many times you wouldn't do because it's so darn expensive. The other thing about Homecrest that I like is yes, it's an apartment, but you have to go to dinner. I mean, you don't, I shouldn't say that. Some people don't come downstairs. The majority of people come downstairs and have their dinner in the dining room. What is great about that is you get a chance to talk to people, and you're not in that apartment surrounded by the walls, not knowing what's going on outside. That hour, you're downstairs, taking part in humanity. And I could go on, but I don't know what else I can say. Yes, I'm very pleased. It's educational. It's enlightening. Getting to know other people, other religions, other ways of doing things, I think is fantastic. And I am just very happy that Homecrest House is here. I'm very, very happy, and I hope to God that they do not stop putting up more residences like this. This is my true feelings.